it's different than your usual black metal album lyrical concept. It's not only singing about demons and rituals and things like that. We've always been very serious when it comes to that, especially the last years, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But this is a bit different. It's like something that actually really happened, and it's everyday story that anybody can go through. Besides, probably if you're not into the occult arts, but how you go from the bottom to the top, overcoming the adversity of what life threw at your face, and that it's not weakness; it's like a proof of strength to show that part of yourself.
Nornagest of the mighty Enthroned. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm super excited. This is the first time I get to interview you. And even though both of us don't necessarily live anymore inside a tiny little country, we are both from Belgium. And it's always exciting because that's a good place, I think, to start our conversation, because not a lot of Belgians necessarily leave Belgium, or not a lot of bands leave Belgium. But before we go into that, how are you doing today, sir?
Okay, a bit better now that the storm has passed.
Right.
So, yeah, we were just hit by a really extreme storm the last 2 days. So now all is a bit quiet.
Yeah.
But doing fine.
Yeah. It's just nature's way of warning everybody that a new Enthroned album is coming.
Yep, we're coming, the new album, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Before we get into that album, like I said, I wanted to talk to you about something very specific because, Belgium has had a pretty healthy and wealthy history when it comes to hard rock and metal bands, but a lot of those bands remain in the underground, even the underground of underground genres, let's say. I mean, Enthroned is not necessarily a top 40 pop band, but at the same time, also, a lot of those bands always seem to have a hard time breaking out of Belgium. There are only a few really examples of bands that for a longer time have been able to go outside of Belgium's borders, even Europe, forget about European borders, and become somewhat of a name in the global scene, if you will. Enthroned is an example of that. Obviously, we've had Aborted. In the 90s, we had some success with Channel Zero. Right now, Evil Invaders is a band that's doing good, working really hard on that. But somehow a lot of Belgian bands kind of stay stuck in their own little town. What's your take on that? And was that, when you were going on this journey a long time ago, was that something that you had in the back of your mind? Like, hey, I exactly don't want to end up like those other bands that I see around me? Was that a conscious thing that you knew you had to go beyond Belgium with your band? What was that journey like?
Well, yeah, there was always that thing, especially in the early 90s, maybe even 80s, but that's a bit too far away.
Yeah.
That, just because you were from Belgium or similar countries, you were not going to be taken not seriously, or labels are never going to sign you.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, I remember we had some labels wrote back, we were looking for a new record company. The band is very interesting, really great, but for black metal, if you would be from Norway, they would sign you right away.
Right.
What does it has anything to do with your country of origin? It was like that before. Like if you were playing death metal, you had to be from US or Sweden. And
Yeah.
To be from Norway, maybe Sweden, something like that. But I guess it got better with the years. Some bands got interest from a bit international crowd and labels afterwards, when that thing died a bit. But still, not as much as if a band was from another. It was always weird. Belgium was a bit always like the black sheep in a way. for some obscure reason. So because you had some bands, like not even only in black metal or even metal, that were absolutely great,
Yeah.
but never got the recognition they deserve. I would take example like Deus, for example. They could have been bigger as big as Nirvana, maybe.
Right, right.
Seattle. And like Amen Ra now are doing really good, but how long did it take them?
Oh,
You
for
know,
sure. Absolutely.
so you had always that kind of thing, which is a bit like a mystery.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. All right. Well, at least you were successful in getting out of that mold. And, my take on that is also that maybe it's also just part of like Belgian mentality that you're right that we say that, oh, we weren't maybe take like, oh, if only you were from Norway, we would sign you. But I feel like a lot of Belgians that I speak to are also like, oh, think they're not going to take me seriously proactively and then not even try. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe that. The thing is, with Enthroned, it has always been kind of different because when we were playing, we did music and still do
Yeah.
for ourselves, not for the people, and that's something that a lot of people have a hard time to understand.
Right, right.
We were doing our music in our cellar there in Charleroi back then. Then we moved a bit around, even went to Flanders, moved the band to Ghent at some point. But it was always the thing that making music for ourselves, and we didn't never really give a shit about what people would think, you know. And that's when, most in those cases, when success, which was never the goal,
Right.
knocked at your door. If you do it for that purpose, it's never gonna work because you're trying to tailor something for that is not coming from the heart or the soul.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah,
It's also the essence, I guess, of black metal at the end of the day is the individualism and doing things your way, which is funny because black metal can be both a genre where you see the great bands not give a shit, as you call it, and like basically I'm not going to call it prog approach, but like you're kind of doing your own thing, but at the same time this genre is so gate kept, if you will, and there's so many stereotypes that bands feel like they have to live up to. It's a really interesting dynamic, I find that.
yeah, like it's very eclectic, narrow-minded spirit.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Like
yeah.
a paradox in itself, but it's exactly that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Awesome, awesome. Well, okay, so let's go into Ash Spawn, the new album coming out. There's so much to unpack on this album. And before we go into the meaning of everything and where the inspiration come from and the journey it took to get to this album, because it took some time. One of the things when I was playing this album, I had a chance to listen to the full album already. When I was listening to this album for the first time, where in the past, sometimes I feel like an Enthroned album is almost like one big ritual and it kind of gets swept away and I feel like it's one piece. I feel like more than ever the songs on this album just also rock. You know what I mean? Like people sometimes forget that black metal is rock and roll music. Like every song kind of, although it's part of a collective, I feel more than ever it feels like attention went in to make sure that these songs on their own are just a good rock song. Is there truth to that? Was that a conscious approach when you were creating this album?
Yes and no. The process, the writing process for this album was totally different from before.
Mm-hmm.
As well, we were back to a 3-piece,
Right.
which makes things way easier, you know. And here with a new guitar player, when he came into the band, the first thing he asked me was like, "Can I have the lyrics?" Like, okay. Anyway, I was gonna show them to him. No, it's important. But like he made like really a point, and I was like, "Oh, I like where this is going." So he took each song individually, and then he called me. Can you explain to me what that means and what was your mindset? And then I explained to him, okay. And he called back like some weeks later, I have the song for that song and the music for that song and for that song. And it was fucking amazing. It was like a translation of the lyrics into music.
Mm-hmm.
Each song is like has its own vibe, let's say, for the lyric wise. Like the step of one journey. Each song is a step to in a journey, let's say. And he made that really perfectly. He translated the lyrics into music perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it comes from, probably. It was not a conscious choice, like, oh, let's do that because that's gonna rock and the kids are gonna like it. No. We still had a very selfish and grumpy way to compose, like, we don't give a shit. This oh, but the thing is, like, it was a fresh blood in the band, and his way of composing is the same way I have to write the lyrics. And he does that even better than when I was composing the music.
It must be tough that, because like you always deal with, metaphysical and esoteric themes, if you will. Those are not always the most straightforward, emotions is not even the right word, but a concept, if you will, to translate into a riff. So it's great to hear that when the band was working together, that you were on the same page. But did it take a long time to not get on the same page? Because that sounds like there might have been conflict, but you say, like, oh, when I got the music back, it was perfect. But how long does that take? Because it could be quite a challenge to get to that essence, if you will.
Well, surprisingly fast.
Okay.
Like TK, the new guitar player, joined the band in a bit over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So make the counts.
Yeah, no, that is, yeah.
Composer took
that is fast.
Recorded like in a year.
Well, less, because the album's coming out, and this album wasn't recorded yesterday.
Oh yeah, the thing is, like, the whole music on the Ashbone is composed, everything with this lineup, with the new lineup and everything. So all the album was composed and recorded, besides the lyrics.
Yeah.
The last year, so it went quite fast. Now the lyric process was something else. That's why it took a while.
Yeah. Let's go into those lyrics, because the band has gone through, let's call it, rebirth. It's been a few years. You've already mentioned in the press statements as well that, this album really is all about death and rebirth. We see a lot of balancing themes in this record. Backwards tree, serpents. There's a lot of symbolism of things that go in both ways. Is that how it's almost like the album also re-influenced the band in a way, like art influencing life as much as life is influencing art. Is that like the main essence of this album? Like, it is really like a turning, we have to look at this as a bit of a turning point, as a reset?
Yeah, totally. Like, the lyrics, I started to write them actually as soon as the previous album was out, called Black Sun.
Okay.
It's literally almost an autobiography.
Right.
So, like, let's say, like, I went through a life-changing event in my life where I had to put everything back in perspective, and those lyrics and that album, like, is like kind of the story how from the bottom of the pit one reached the top of the summit, and it's a bit a condensed of my story during that time, how I went through the normal means when a man is in that situation, like his journey, but as well those occult elements that are part of my life, what role they played during that period, and helped me to overcome everything and to make me a better man than I was before all that shit happened. So it's different than your usual black metal album lyrical concept. It's not only singing about demons and like rituals and things like that. We've always been very serious when it comes to that, especially the last years, let's be honest.
Yeah.
but this is a bit different. It's like a something that actually really happened, uh, and it's everyday story that anybody can go through. Besides, probably if you're not into the occult arts, but how you go from the bottom to the top, overcoming the adversity of what life threw at your face, and that it's not weakness; it's like a proof of strength to show that part of yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot going on in there, and it was a long process to write those lyrics, I can tell you.
We don't always get a level of vulnerability, if you will, in black metal, which is amazing to see. It must have been also a bit of a mindfuck for TK, for example, coming into the band, because obviously every story, as personal as it might be for you, can be interpreted, and vulnerable stories resonate. Like, your fans and new fans will delve into the concepts and connect with it. But just given then how the band changed, not just as a lineup, but also the dynamic of the band after these lyrics were written, I can also imagine how when he got those lyrics, when he was asking about them, that he at one point said, like, what the fuck, did you write this about me?
Yeah, it was like something like he didn't say that, but he was like I really like that. So like
Right.
that's just one text message I received. Like I really like that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, because to me, how I see things, it's not a proof of weakness to show that kind of thing.
Exactly.
I'm not going to share the personal details because it's not nobody's business.
Right.
I'm not that
Don't worry,
kind of.
I won't ask you.
You're going to play the victim and blah blah blah. I leave that for other type of people. But yeah, that was something like my own exorcism, and then that album was the last nail in the coffin, let's say, of that past thing, and confirmation that you have to learn from the mistakes and learn from what the challenges that are thrown up on the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a big victory, that album, on every level.
Yeah. So we have this new album coming out. It's coming out in December. 6 years after we've had the last album, new band lineup, a new mentality. I don't want to say fully a new sound, but like a different approach. Like I said, like I feel like this rocks more, to use an extremely untechnical term that everybody will understand. That also means that there's a whole legion out there of new people that can discover you, that have not discovered you before, not just through albums, but we're going to want to see you bring this to life. And it'll be hard enough for you to balance out your entire legacy, but thinking about 2026, it should be a very busy year for you. What can we, to wrap us up, what can we expect from 2026 for you? Or maybe let's put it the other way around. What do you want to happen with the band in 2026 so that for you, 2026 is a success?
Well, I'm sorry. We have a few shows planned. Like I said before in very few interviews, we consciously decided to leave the. How can I put that? We're not going to be as present as we used to be on stage anymore. We're still going to play shows, sure, but tours and things like that a bit less. It's a conscious decision. We simply have our lives now, so not that we lost the flame or anything like that, not at all, but we have a lifestyle here. I have a certain lifestyle in Norway that requires me to be a lot here, and same for our guitar player. So we decided like we prefer to play shows that matters, so we are way more selective. Not that we said that the rest is shit, no, but we have to make decisions
Yeah.
at some which shows to play. So we have a few of shows that we're gonna play next year. We already did start to work on the new material, so it's not gonna take 6 years for the next. For the next
Good.
and we'll see from there. Like we have a few plans, but for now we're not gonna say anything. So because it's still
To be announced. To be announced.
Project.
Yeah.
And some kind of thing. But mainly, bringing those songs, that album on the road, if you can say like that, and working on the successor or whatever is going to happen in the future.
Awesome. Well, Norman, I guess, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that you open up and give us a bit of an idea of the whole mindset behind this album. There's an exciting new record coming out for old fans and new fans to discover you. I'll keep my fingers crossed and my eyes open to see what's coming at us in 2026. I'm sure it'll be pretty epic. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best with the release of this new album.
Likewise.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.